Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Gypsy TT Tara. How's everybody doing? Remember, you guys exchange energy with me. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment so that I can know that you were there. You guys, I had something just really brewing deep down inside, and I kind of wanted to share it with you all. I have done a lot of things in my past that I'm not happy about. And, it's hard, you guys, it's hard to let your guards down and to let people in. But you have to realize that things that have happened to you in the past can sometimes come back and haunt you. When I was out there and I was out there in the streets, and I was taking my drugs, and I was doing things that women shouldn't do. I was trying to get me a little extra change just to live. And I left home at an early age. And after I got through with finishing school, I kind of lived a double life. And you have to be careful. You have to be careful um, and look into your dark past. And when I say look into your dark past, I'm talking about um strangers. Strangers in the night. Strangers in the night that want to come back into your life, and they want to set snares and they want to set traps for your life. And you guys, I almost fell for the snares and the traps. Once again, you know, like I said before, keeping your guards up at all times, because you never know when there is somebody that wants to hurt you or wants to do something to your family member, or just come in and literally mess up your whole life. So I just want to bring awareness up around those out there that have done things that they're not proud of. I try to let new people inside my little circle to come in, but it's really, really scary because you don't know what those people are. Sometimes those people are witches and warlocks, things of that nature, trying to snatch and take your soul. You have to be really, really careful, especially if you've been by yourself for a while and you haven't done the dating thing. Be really, really careful. I came across a person, and they were telling me some stuff about they remembered me. They remembered me from a long time ago. And they remember the places that I worked at, um and the type of person I was back in the day, which, if you guys have watched some of my videos before, then you would know what I'm talking about. When I'm trying to say to you, back in the day when I did my drugs and I did my cocaine and I did my drinking and I did my prostitution, and I was a dancer in nightclubs, and I made lots and lots of money, and I was a call girl and worked for escort services and all kinds of things of that nature. And I'm not afraid and I'm not ashamed to tell my story because somebody needs to hear this. I might be saving somebody's life. But when somebody asks you to go with them alone and then they want to bring other people with them, that is a red flag. That is a red flag, especially if you don't really know the other person that they're bringing with them. Nowadays, people have those throwaway phones. They could kill you and throw you somewhere and nobody could ever find you ever again. And my family would just be devastated. Your family would be just devastated. You try to get away from that lifestyle. You try to get away from people that mean you no good. And I say it all the time. There is people lurking in secret places. There is people lurking in secret places. And you might have not known what you did to them way back in the day, but they never forgot. They never forgot about what you did to them. You know, I know when I was out there, I wasn't always in my right frame of mind. And I'm so glad that God seen fit to wrap his arms around me and to send his angels a bisque to watch over me and to make sure that I was okay. Because a lot of times, boy, I tell you, once I got in a car with this guy, and you guys won't believe this. I got in this car with this guy, and I had just left the club where I danced at, and he gave me a ride. He had been waiting outside for the girls to leave the club, and he looked it pretty okay, and I didn't think nothing about it. So I got in the car with him, and he asked me where I was going, and I told him. And so we started just driving, heading to where I was going. And I noticed that he had army fatigues on. He was in the military. He had white t-shirt on and the camouflage um, military pants, green pants. So I knew that his branch was the army. And he kept adjusting his rearview mirror, and he was looking back in his rearview mirror. And I was wondering why he kept looking back in his rearview mirror. And I glanced back to see what he was looking at, what he was gazing at. And I seen his military jacket on the back seat of the car. And you guys, it was a silver machete that was slightly peeping from under the jacket. And I said, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? And I noticed that it didn't dawn on me right away that he had let me into the car and there was no handles on the doors. Those handles had been removed. And I was in sheer panic mode. When I tell you guys that I was so scared, I didn't know what my next step was going to be. And I started talking to the guy because he passed up where I told him to drop me off at, and he kept going far, 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 far away. way, way, way out on this road. And in those days, there was nothing but brush, weeds, and tall grass, and a big field. Today, now it sits, there's homes that sits on this property, but back in the day, there was nothing but just grass and just a rural area with nothing and nowhere to hide. And it was something else. And so he kept driving and driving and driving, and I tried to talk to him, and he was very quiet with me and wouldn't answer my questions. And I asked him, um, does he have children's, or, and he didn't answer me about the children's. And I said, well, you know what? I need to be getting home, because I was like a teenager then. And I told him, I said, I need to be getting home because my mama is going to be worried about me if I don't come home at a certain time. And although my mama never knew what time I was coming home back in those days, because I just come home whenever I wanted to come home. But God told me to tell him that you need to say your mama is going to be worried about you. And if this guy has any type of feeling deep down in that dark soul, then he will let you out of the car. And he didn't budge for 1 minute. He didn't care about me saying anything about my mom or nothing else that I had to say. All he cared about is I am going to be on one of those milk cartons, and I am probably never going to be seen again. Can you imagine what my parents would have went through if they knew that they found out or heard or got a knock on the door that their child was found dead in a field? How would you think my mama would have felt? All the things that she had told me about. You're going to reap what you sow, baby. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You're going to find out the hard way. You're going to find out the hard way, because God don't like ugly, and he ain't too fond of pretty. I know you guys have heard that saying probably more than once in your lifetime. But anyhow, to make a long story short, I just remembered that I had a big butcher knife down in my purse. And I always had carried this butcher knife down in my purse because I knew that I would probably come across a couple of freaks out there, and I had to protect myself. And that knife came in handy that night. He did finally come to a stop, and all I could think about, this is it. This guy is going to reach back there. He's going to grab hold of that machete, and he's going to go to chopping, or he's going to go to forking me to death, because there was some silverware on his back floor panel. And I seen some forks back there, and just all kinds of things was running through my head. You guys wouldn't even imagine. But it just goes to show you that, well, you guys, you see that I'm talking to you now. So, yeah, I did get out of the car. I had to raise up on the seat as we wrestled back and forth, as he, at that time, I think I was like 102 pounds. And this guy was a big old, like the Incredible Hulk. And he was so strong. But you know what? When the adrenaline goes rushing through you, you find strength to break free. And this was just with the grace of God that I was able to get out of that car and to run for my life. And I did run so fast into the darkness. And I were where the car had stopped wasn't very far from a reservoir. It was this dam, and I had to go across the dam. Mind you, as I was running, I fell in a puddle of water, and I had these jeans. Oh, I had to go back and tell you guys. I got out the car because I raised the window down as we was driving. I kind of missed that part as we were driving to wherever, because I just said, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out this car. And I said, well, I'm going to raise the window down now. And it's kind of getting warm in here. That was my plan, was to roll the window down all the way down. And he did allow me to do that when we were in the tussling and rustling situation. I managed to get up on the seat. And back in those days, I don't know if you guys remember those clogs. Remember the slip-on wooden clogs? And they used to call them the candies. Those clog shoes that's called candies. I had those on. I ended up kicking those off, slipping my body right through his arms, jumping out that window, and then I made a dash for it. Feet don't fail me now. That's all I can tell you guys. Ended up making it to, I was always told that if you see a windmill, then that means you're coming into civilization, or you coming into a farm area. So it took a long time. I had to scoot across this cement dam. And as I looked down, I could see the water just pouring down into the reservoir. And I was like, oh my God, what I got myself into. And I forgot to tell you all, when I fell down in the puddle of water, my jeans was making the swoosh sound, a slushing sound, like shh, 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 shh. Every time my thighs would rub together, you could hear that loud sound, and it sounded so loud. And it probably wasn't loud, but in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to take these jeans off, and I'm going to have to put these jeans over my arm, and I'm going to have to just run with my underwear on and just hope I never once looked back to see if the guy was anywhere around. So I made it. I made it after, I don't know how long I had been running in that field. It seems like 2 or 3 hours, I think it was. And I finally did see this barn. And once I got to the barn, there was this horse, and I was up against the fence of this ranch home, and I didn't know where the hell I was. And I start screaming to the top of my lungs, help, help. Somebody please come help me. I've been hurt. And, well, actually, it was the guy that was hurt, because I had blood all over my little vest. And you guys remember those sheep vests made out of that sheep's skin? Well, I had one of those on. And the guy came out with his shotgun, and he starts shooting up in the air, and he says, who's there? Who's there? And I said in my little voice, hi, it's me. Please don't shoot me. I've been kidnapped, and someone grabbed me, and please could you call the police? And I went through all this kind of crap. And so the police did come and took me back to questioned me, took me back to where the incident happened. We found the knife that I had thrown in the dirt and the spit on the ground that the perpetrator had spit out blood, and there was blood in the dirt. Just to make a long story short, got to the police department. They did the questioning. I did a statement, and I was taken home by the police officer. They did find the guy that was in the military. Like I said, he decided not to press charges on me because he had a family. Imagine that. But that was just one of the times that my life was saved. So you see, you have to remember the people that you hurt along the way, because karmic will come back around and get you. Even though I still did my shit and still did stuff, even after the fact. I just thank God today that I had a praying mother that prayed for me. And as I close out on this message, I just want to let everybody know that keep your guards up at all times, because you never know who wants to hurt you. Always remember that people are not to be trusted in nowadays. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I have way more messages to tell you. So I love you guys all, and you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or whatever you hear this video. Thank you, and bye-bye.